Hello everyone. So in my previous video I spoke about the importance of statistical power and how different parameters have an impact on the power and how it influences the hypothesis testing. So in this video we'll see how to calculate the sample size required for one sample t-test by including power. So the calculator is available under the DOE menu in design diagnostics, sample size and power, and here you can choose one sample mean. So in this menu, the first value you enter is alpha, or the significance level, and then you enter a reasonable estimate of the standard deviation, and then you enter the difference to detect, and you can enter the power. So usually power ranges between 0.8 and 0.99. Let's say we want to measure at power of 0.9. So now JUMP calculates the sample size to be around 265. Now let's say you want to uh, detect at a higher power. Let's say you want to detect at power of 0.99 or 99%. Uh, every time you have to clear the box before changing the values. So here you can see that the sample size increased from 265 to 462 uh, when you are detecting at a higher power. This is because when your power is higher, that means your beta value is lower, or in other words, you are decreasing the number of false negatives. So in order to do this, you will need to get data from more samples. Now let me go back to the default zero point 0.9 settings, and let me now decrease the difference to detect, and let's say continue. So now you can see that when you decrease the difference to detect, the number of samples actually increases. Now again, let me put this back to the default values, and now let's see how the standard deviation impacts the sample size. So let's say we increase the standard deviation to twice. Now you can see that the sample size actually increased. This is because standard deviation is nothing but the noise in your data. So if you have a larger standard deviation, then you will require more number of samples in order to detect the uh, required difference. So yeah, and so this is one way to calculate power. There is actually another option that is been newly introduced in JUMP 20 in JUMP 16. So if you go to DOE menu, there is a thing called sample size explorer, and then if you go to power, you can choose power for one sample mean. So this menu is actually very similar to the one we used before. So here again we enter the alpha value and the standard deviation, and then you enter the difference to detect, and then you enter the power. So again you can see that you see a similar plot as we saw before. So yeah, this is a new addition in JUMP, as I mentioned before, and can be found in JUMP 16.